discovered it this year by Spain.
Oh, the Spain.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it is something which is fascinating because it is different from the what they discover for many years.
Yeah.
It is something which is very different. Then maybe they will come up with a new history.
Yeah, maybe we'll find that missing link, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, everybody, she's going to give her talk here. This is Ae.
Jambo. How are you?
Very good.
How was your safari? The safari is wonderful. And how about the road? Having a massage? That's nice. So back to school, forget about the massage and the bathing. Is it okay? I'm going to give you the brief information about the Oldupai Gorge. What you see in front of you is a small portion of Oldupai Gorge. The whole area covered the distance of 55 kilometers from the east of Ngorongoro crater and upon the western part of Serengeti National Park. So by the time of 2 million years ago, there was a lake here. So if there was a lake, there was a life. Life for hominid, wild animals and the plants. But later on, volcanic eruption covered everything from the mountain known as Olmoti. So after that, the lake dried up and the water flowed to the eastern part of the gorge to the new source of water known as Olbalbal Depression. So Olbalbal is a Maasai name. In English, it is depression. So we can call it depression. Yes. So after thousands of years, there was an earthquake caused by Great Rift Valley. Then it cut the gorge into 5 geological faults. So here where we are, this is a fourth fault, the middle section of Oldupai Gorge. The 3 of the faults are on our eastern part on the same line, and 5 kilometers northwest is where the 5th fault is. And also what happened down to the gorge there are 2 branches. Main branch is a kind of valley going to the northwest direction, that is our main gorge ending to Lake Idutu near Serengeti National Park. And down here going to the western part ending to Laitoli site is where the side gorge ending. So the gorge is in Y-letter shape. When you look inside the museum, you will see this kind of shape on a map. These are the lines of the faults, main gorge, side gorge, and down there is a junction. Is it understood?
Yes.
So gorge is a physical feature of the landscape of today from volcanic eruption, water erosion, and the earthquake. So back to the name. The name of this site was discovered accidentally by German entomologist. His name was Professor Wilhelm Katwinkel. So in 1911 he was searching for butterflies from Ngorongoro crater heading to Serengeti. And down here he came across with the fossilized bones of 3 tortoises. Then he was interested in collecting them for further identification. Then he asked the native speakers, who is Maasai people, about the name of the site. So Maasai people told him the name is Oldupai Gorge from this plant. And the Oldupai plant grown all over the gorge by the time of naming the site. So what he did a mistake. He mispronounced and he mispublished the name. Instead of writing Oldupai Gorge, he wrote Olduvai Gorge. So till to date, the name is existing in a wrong name, but no one is blaming him. So when you turn back to your land, please inform your fellow that the name is Oldupai Gorge, not Olduvai Gorge. Is it okay? So this plant is useful while the animal chew it in order to obtain water because this area is dry. And fibers can be used to make carpet, basket and ropes which can be used to tie the roof of the huts. And according to Maasai people, the liquid inside here is a traditional medicine for treating an open wound. So that is according to Maasai people. So back to the fossilized bones were sent to Berlin Museum in Germany. Then it opened the way for many scientists who interested with the site. The second man was Professor Hans Reck. he was a geologist. So in 1913, he stratified the geological layers into 5 groups. So when you look on the bottom of the landscape, what you see is a black basaltic rocks. That is a floor of the gorge. That is according to scientists, from the time of Mary Leakey's research. But this year, there was a drilling system which occurred over here. Then they go underground to the basalt. Then they came across with tuff 1A. It means that layer 1 have many tuffs, tuff 1A up to F. But we are taking basalt as a basement of landscape from the research of the previous year. And back to that, on a gray color soil, that is a layer number 1 volcanic ash 2 million years ago. And when you look on a portion of the land, claystone and the sandstone below ready is number 2, 1.75 million years ago. And ready color soil is number 3. So that layer consists of claystone, sandstone, and the conglomerate. But it is red in color soil because it contains iron oxide. Then when you look on the other hand, on top of ready, there is gray color soil. That is claystone, sandstone, and the conglomerate. It is 800,000 years ago, number 4. And on the top very thin layer is number 5, 150,000 years ago. That is volcanic conglomerate. And Professor Hamstrick used the potassium argon dating techniques. He wasn't able to continue with her research because of the First World War. Then he turned back to Germany. In 1928, there was another scientist, Dr. Louis Leakey. Have you read more about Louis Leakey?
No.
He was an archaeologist, so after he visited Berlin Museum, he saw the fossilized bones collected by Professor Wilhelm Katwinkle. Then he thought more about the Oldupai Gorge, thinking on hominid information, that if there was a lake at Oldupai Gorge and the animal fossils, probably there was a life of hominid. So in 1931, Dr. Louis Leakey came here, and in 1935, Mary joined him. Mary was an archaeologist student. Later she became the wife. They researched over the area for 28 years. But nothing of human remains. But because they were collecting stone tools and animal fossils, they were encouraged that there was a life of hominid here. Then lucky enough, on July 17, 1959, Mary discovered the skull of early hominid. The skull,
I can go home now. Yeah.
the skull was given 3 names. All the names stand for the same skull. The first name was Australopithecus boisei. So Australopithecus consists of 2 words. Australo is a Latin word which means southern, and Epithecus is a Greek word which means ape. So that was southern ape. And Boisei in full name was Charles Boisei, a sponsor from Oxford University. So his name was given to the Australopithecus as a way of honoring him. The second name was Zinjanthropus. So Zinj is ancient Arabic word, stand for East Africa, and the Anthropus is a Greek word, stand for man. Then that was East African man. And the third name was Australopithecus robust. It was robust because the skull resembled like that of recent gorilla. It was big, but brain's volume was very small, about 500 cubic centimeters. So that skull was characterized by sagittal crested like a ridge on a top, which support massive jaw and large cheeky teeth to crack the nuts. Then Nutcracker Man was a joke name given to the skull. And Nutcracker Man was dated back 1.75 million years ago. So the hominid was vegetarian. 95% of the diet depend on plants and 5% depend on meat. So that is after hominid left the tooth mark on a bones remains. Then according to scientists, they conclude that Zinjanthropus is where the human evolution started. Then in a same layer where they discover Zinjanthropus in 1960, Jonathan Leakey discovered the remain of Homo habilis. Homo habilis was dated back 1.8 million years ago, and brain size was 600 cubic centimeters. So Homo habilis associated with the stone tools of Oldupai technology. Tools are simple and not sharp because the brain volume was still small. So the hominid was characterized by opposable thumbs and index fingers. It supported the hominid to catch the stone tools, which were used during hunting. Then, in conclusion, Zinjanthropus and Homo habilis lived on the same environment, not cohabited. Those are two different specimens because brain size differentiated them, morphological structure of the body, and age existence. Then they just coexisted in a layer number 1. In the second layer, they discovered the third hominid, Homo erectus. Homo erectus was an upright man, dated back 1.5 million years ago, and brain size was 900 cubic centimeters. So because of greater brain size, Homo erectus changed the technology of making tools from Oldowan technology to advanced technology, which is Acheulean technology. So tools are complex and sharp. So over there also Homo erectus accompanied with an ash. So was the one who discovered fire and he started to eat cooked meats. So by the stage of Homo erectus, the landscape over here was hot and dry. Population of the hominid also increased. Then that forced other Homo erectus to push out of Africa. So others went in Europe, Asia, Australia, China, Indonesia, and America. And the last remains of Homo erectus was found in Chile, South America. So from there was a great journey made by a Japanese man. His name was Dr. Sekiro. He rode a bicycle passing through the points where the hominid migrated. In 1993, he started a journey. He ended up here at Oldupai in 2002. So inside the museum, you will see the bicycle and shoes. It belongs to Dr. Sekino as part of history to remember him. The reason of Dr. Sekino's journey, he wanted to feel an extreme heat and the other difficulties which were facing early hominids during their migration. So is there any volunteer who can ride a bicycle before he or she died from Oldupai Gorge?
All the way to Chile? Wait till you see the exhibit inside. It's fabulous. It's in the room to the left. Once you go into the museum right over here, it has this bike and it shows the map. Exactly how we followed the track of what is thought to have been evolution.
But the continents would have been joined.
Yeah.
So we had to use a kayak over where the land was now
Anyone
covered
who
with
can
water.
volunteer?
Not today.
Not today? Okay, of course it is a long journey. So back to the landscape in our ready color soil, there are a few stone tools and the animal fossilized bones. So that layer is not good for preservation. But when you look on a gray color soil, there are many collections about stone tools, animal fossilized bones, and the hominid fossilized bones. Because gray color soil contains calcium and the potassium minerals good for preservation. And on the top of the landscape layer number 5, in 1972, they discover Homo sapiens. So Homo sapiens was a primitive man. The man before us, brain size was 1200 cubic centimeters. So Homo sapiens, as dated back 400,000 years ago, he left paintings on the rocks about his stone tools and animals of that time. And the research over here was conducted by Mary and Louis Leakey. Then in 1972, Dr. Louis Leakey passed away. So Mary continued with her research. She went southwest of the gorge, collecting for bones. And by chance in 1978, from the site known as La Itoli, within Oldupai Gorge, she discovered hominid footprints. So footprints were dated back 3.6 million years ago. Then the question can be how hominid footprints survived for 3.6 million years ago while of ours cannot stay even for an hour.
Yeah.
Have you asked yourself? It's because the nature of the soil over Laetoli having sodium carbonate mineral. It is good for cementing the footprints, not only for the hominid footprints, but also for other wild animals like three-toed horse, rhinoceros, giraffe, elephant, and guinea fowl footprints. Then Mary concluded that the nature of the soil is good for cementing the trackways, not for the fossil because it might disintegrate them. It is too acidic. Then according to scientists, the hominid footprints were already upright and older. So that is another hominid branch of Australopithecus afarensis. And what is here is a younger branch of Australopithecus boisei. So Tanzania, as among the East African countries, it is a cradle of mankind because the complete chain from Zinjanthropus to modern man was found here. And modern man are we, Homo sapiens sapiens. If you are believing in human evolution, and you are Homo sapiens sapiens. Is it okay? Then in Ethiopia, they discover another hominid, a skeleton of the female creature, very short for 1 meter tall. The skeleton dated back 3.5 million years ago. Scientifically, it is Australopithecus afarensis to the same to hominid footprints because it was found on a same geological time and already upright. But the skeleton from Ethiopia is known worldwide in a joke name as Lucy. It's Lucy because the researchers were celebrating by singing to the Beatles song called Lucy in the Sky with Diamond. You remember the song?
Yeah.
Okay, class, now it is the time for singing. Lucy in the Sky with Diamond.
Lucy in the sky with diamonds.
Thank you so much. So research is still going on every year, June, July, and August. The researchers are coming from University of Dar es Salaam in Tanzania. The second one is USA, University of California at Berkeley, Rutgers University, Indiana University, University College of London. And the third group is Spain, University of Complutense of Madrid. So they are still questioning what happened in between two branches of hominid, branch of afarensis and boisei. Maybe human evolution is from one chain. Who knows? And if there are two or more than two branches, were the missing history of the former discoveries. So currently, they are still collecting hominid remains, but not yet published, as I said. And there are many stone tools and animal fossilized bones. And what you are viewing on the top of the landscape is a research center for Spain. And on the other hand, that was Mary and Louis Leakey's camp.
Right.
And now it is a research center for USA. So back to here, class. This is the end of my presentation.
Oh, very
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions for I?
Yeah, I have one. I thought that the original